We're back, we're back, we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is Kim Dominique-Ferguson. I'm in studios with...
Renee Jordan.
And we have on the air with us Anthony Hyland, all the way from Hawaii, multi-talented entrepreneur, family man, and TikTok master as far as I'm concerned. Anthony.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity as well to just come and have this discussion with you all. And I think it's a testament of itself to the power of social media and just connecting people in a way that transcends the thought process. So I'm just appreciative, and let's get into it.
Yeah. So before the break, you started speaking a little bit about TikTok and what you consciously decided to use your platform for, and you have a ridiculous amount of followers that just keeps on growing and growing and growing, and I love just watching it happen live. So tell us a little bit about your platform, because you don't only use it for multiple things. So tell us a bit about that.
So my username is ISpeak1906, and I did that strategically. Because I do believe, so I've been studying social media for the past 8 years, and I believe that social media in and of itself is essentially an extension of our lives. Now, regardless of how transparent you decide to be on it, what ends up happening is either you do one or two things. Either you completely change people's lives or you destroy people's lives, or you just fall on this weird gray area to whereby you're just existing in the atmosphere, consuming everyone else's content. And which is cool too, But I chose that specific name, I Speak 1906, because I speak is what I do. I speak. I'm a professional speaker, artist, and it's what, my passion. And the 1906 comes in with my fraternity. So I figured that as a dual opportunity to be a conversation starter. So most oftentimes when people ask, those that speak or are, spoken word artists or, public speakers, they'll latch on to that aspect. And then I have my fraternities and sororities, or what we call the Divine Nine or Panhellenic Council within the Greek world. They'll see the 1906 like, I wonder if he's an alpha. And then it is essentially a conversation starter. So when I first started TikTok, my wife, she actually, about 18 months before I joined the platform, she was on it, watching people's content, looking at the little dances and things of that nature. And she brought me across one of my brothers, who I now call brother, the Conscious Lead. Right. And he essentially puts out intellectual content, debunks certain myths within the political spectrum, in the world in general, and things of that nature. So in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, if this brother can gain this amount of followers, and I think at the time he might have had 240, maybe 250,000, to where by now he has over 700,000 followers. Wow. I figured I could do that too, but do it in a way that's organic to me. Mm-hmm. And that I know that there is an audience of individuals whom cater to intellectual content. So I said, I'm going to start off with what I know best, which is my poetry, my public speaking. So I just started posting my poems. I've had professional recordings of some of my poems. I record most of my speeches when I go to events. I said, I'm just going to, post snippets of, what I know to be true with myself and my platform. My first month, I gained 40,000 followers.
Wow.
My second month, the first week into my second month, I gained over 100,000. Still new to the platform. I'm just like, whoa.
So when did you join? When did you actually join TikTok?
March 24th.
2020.
2020.
Probably like most TikTokers this past year.
Yeah, so, in that, I was just like, let me join the platform. Let me just see what I can do. Let me see how effective I can be. And it blew up. It blew up fast. Like I said, I gained a platform, and, people knew me as the poet guy. And what I saw was a lot of people were associating me with the Conscious Lead. And I was just like, wow, that's, to me, that's powerful. The fact that, people are making me synonymous with this individual whom I have much respect for.
Yeah.
And in that, what I came to find is that people would latch onto my page and to my poems, and they would say, I think March 30th is when I blew up. So I joined on the 28th. March 30th is when I blew up. My video did. And I'm looking.
How many videos did you post up until that point?
3.
Okay.
This was literally my 3rd video. Right now, that video is sitting at. Now, when it blew up, it had something like 120, maybe 130,000 views. Now it has 332,000 views, 111,000 comments, and 585. That was my very first viral video. Wow. My second viral video is what actually ended up getting me an interview on a internationally renowned LGBTQIA plus radio station. Was the second one that I posted, and I posted this one on.
And these are all poems?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first
what
poem
was
entitled,
the content of the first and the second poem?
So the first poem was entitled, and thank you for that question. That's a very, very important question. So I published an album entitled Metaphorically Speaking. It's available on all streaming platforms. And the second poem is not on there, but the first one is. The first one is entitled Black Girl Magic. And it was a poem that I wrote for my daughter, essentially letting her know that, regardless of what the world may say to you, you are beautiful. Your melanin is beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Don't allow anyone to tell you anything different, not even me. And that one just went crazy. The second one I posted, I put the caption on it, the father that every LGBTQ child wishes they had. Yeah. And essentially what I spoke to in that video was that if my son were to come home and tell me that he was gay and or bring a boy home to say that, hey, Dad, this is my boyfriend, there would be no change. There would be no, oh, wow, what in the world? Because I would give the same energy that I would give to him bringing a girl home, to him bringing a guy home, because who he decides to love, in the grand scheme of things, it's none of my business. Is this person respecting you? Are they loving you? Are they cherishing you? If they're not of your same background, are they learning about your culture? Are they going above and beyond? That video did 600,000 views. I'm not sure how many likes or anything like that, but right now it's sitting at 726,000 views, 266,000 likes. So in that, those 2 videos gave me my platform. They were like the beginning. Those are what people make me synonymous with. So when people
why did you choose that as a subject matter for your second poem?
So for me, I think the journey that I've been on. So my younger brother is gay, and seeing some of the things that he dealt with growing up in our own family structure, as well as in the school system, from essentially straight black men and the stigma of homophobia within the black community. Yeah. I saw that as there's not enough straight black men speaking up about being allies to the LGBTQIA plus community. Yeah. And I'm an unapologetic ally. And I believe that people have the right to love whom they decide to love. And what I came to find is that I had to confront my own biases toward the community. Not that I've ever diminished or disrespected anyone, but most of my opposition
unconscious
was
biases. Like,
absolutely,
we have biases
but mine was based in.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Right, mine was based in religion, from the way in which I was brought up. Oh, my grandma, she would say, oh, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And, with us as children, we go with whatever, our parents say.
Yeah, you absorb that.
Right.
So how did you sort of deconstruct those ideas to come to this new understanding?
I had a powerful best friend. My best friend, her name is Benita. Oh, man. I'm talking ally to the community. She's going to pride marches. She's going and, volunteering and all those types of things. And when we got together, ironically, my wife and her actually have become best friends. And she's my oldest daughter's, my oldest child, rather, was my daughter, her godmother. Mm-hmm. When we dated shortly for a stint while I was in college, she is one of the main reasons that allowed me to confront or assisted me in confronting those biases and deconstructing those mindsets that just because you have a religious belief doesn't mean that you should exclude an entire community of people from loving who they love. Right. And again, I was never like homophobic or transphobic or anything. I never talked down to anyone. If I seen someone and someone was disrespecting them, just like any other person, hey, yo, leave them alone. You know what I mean? I'm not for that. But my mindset was homosexuality is a sin. You know what I mean? From what I knew growing up. And it was just like, and even educating myself on the Bible. And again, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But just, a lot of the mindsets that we, peddle, we don't realize where they've come from. Yeah. And when you have someone so down for, the cause, essentially, you have to understand that it's not just your interests that are at stake. It's not just your life that is at stake. And, the community in of itself has been fighting for years just for basic rights. And then you align yourself, for me, I've been an activist for 13 years, so getting out in the streets, marching and protesting and signing petitions and things of that nature. And then you look at the struggle of the LGBTQI plus community, not correlating it, but you look at it. I don't play the oppression Olympics. The community has been through enough in and of itself to whereby I don't have to get into that, what I call the semantic argument of oppression. No oppression is enough oppression. You know what I mean?
But just to sort of tip the iceberg a little bit, maybe not to go too deep into it, but how does someone like yourself who has like a religious background and religious ideologies and ideals sort of accept that other worldview without being being for it, but not being against it, if you get what I'm saying?
I left religion.
Okay.
So I now consider myself a very spiritual being on a journey for gaining knowledge, giving reverence to my ancestors. Because again, I had to ask myself, why am I following this? I grew up Baptist Christian. So I had to ask myself as I got older, why am I Christian? Am I Christian because, I love going to church? Am I Christian because that's all I knew? And when I got to the core base of things, it was because it's all I knew. Yeah. And then I started doing research. I came across ancient Kemet. And I started doing my research, and I realized that organized religion is just not for me, to whereby I can now liberate my mind. It's not to say that you can't liberate your mind. If you follow a religion, it's just I call it my spiritual journey. So I learned that I can be on my own spiritual journey without having to feel the need to justify it and or defend it against someone that may say, well, why aren't you Christian, or why aren't you Catholic, or why aren't you Buddhist, or why aren't you Islamic, or whatever the case may be. It's just not for me. It's not my spiritual journey, and I don't demean or diminish people as a result of that. And I think that mindset in and of itself toward homosexuality being a sin is perpetuated a lot in the Black church, and it's an uncomfortable truth that, I don't mind speaking and taking whatever backlash comes along with it, because one thing that I've learned is that when you make a statement, you got to stand on it. Yeah. And when you have unequivocal truth on your side, the only thing that you're refuting is ignorance. So when people tell me, oh, it's not perpetuated, show me where it's not. Show me where it's not, where you have scores of Black men that grow up feeling the need to hypermasculate themselves to prove their masculinity, to whereby they'll bring violence toward an individual that shows the smallest of interest toward them. If a gay man gives you a compliment, that is one of the highest honors that you can receive. What? Boy, because gay men gonna tell you the truth. Just like children, just like old folk. You know what I mean? Gay men gonna tell you the truth. So again, I had to realize too that I don't have to hypermasculate myself. If a gay man approaches me, listen, brother, I'm not interested. All right, wait, brother, I'm not interested. Now, if it escalates past there, it's because I'm consistently saying, hey, listen, I'm not interested. It's not a need for me to hypermasculate myself to prove my masculinity, because I know I'm not gay. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful children, and, I love her. So, in that regard, I don't feel the need, and a lot of men feel that need. And again, confronting that mindset, and here's the bigger piece to that too, confronting those around you as well. And that was another thing that I had to do, because you are the company that you keep. Yeah. As much as people don't like to accept that notion, you are the company that you keep. So I had to confront those that were around me. Hey, listen, I'm not going to be around you if you're going to be peddling these types of mindsets, because again, who they decide to love is none of your business. Yeah. Who they decide to be with is none of your business. Has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with your finances. Has nothing to do with your day-to-day living. So and in that regard, I had to learn.
How does that person loving the person that they choose affect your life? What does it change in your life? It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things. And oftentimes what will happen is they'll do like I did growing up, and they'll push this rhetoric that, oh, I'm trying to save the next generation. Save them from what exactly?
Yeah. There's 7.5 billion of us.
Their own, right. If you get them to start confronting their own mindset, just ask them questions. I want to save them, from influencing the future generation of doing what? Loving who they want to love. So now you're becoming the very thing that you're saying that you despise.
You're becoming an
oppressor. And then you'll see the wheels turning in their head. So you're saying you're trying to protect them while also contributing to their oppression. And then you see the wheels turning again, and then they'll just walk away. or they'll be like, you know what? Wow, I never thought about it like that. And those are the moments that I live for. Now, of course, it'd be willfully ignorant of me to say that there aren't certain groups of people, and I think I'm speaking specifically from the black male perspective. It's willfully ignorant of me to not mention that there are people who perpetuate this mindset that I don't care, what your religious background is or your beliefs. I just don't like it. Okay, that's cool. But you don't have to bring violence toward. You don't have to disrespect. You don't have to demean. Have whatever views you want to have. Yeah. And I think that's the place that we've come to now, to whereby if you don't like something, everybody's just not supposed to do it. Yeah. And life doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Wow. We are engaged in some really, really interesting discussion. Just in case you're tuning in for the first time this evening, which you shouldn't be, because you should tune in every Tuesday evening from 7 p.m. But we're talking to Anthony Hyland. He's a spoken word artist, motivational speaker, and he's an entrepreneur, just got a lot of stuff on his plate, family man. We do have to take a little break and come back. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM.